Rev up your engines! Here is a real live 2022 Mustang Mach E GT. Now, of course, realize they're not giving them away. Now, the Mustang Mach E, their whole thing, they said they start at $45,000. Forget that. This was $75,000. I have to say, to Ford's benefit, they didn't rake them over the coals, and they didn't say we're going to add this, this, and this. He paid the list price that was on the internet. So, he knew what he was getting into, and they didn't sell him a bunch of crap extra. They were honest about that, at least. And I know they're always changing things. They're trying to make it so you can't resell them. But if he wanted to resell this one right now, he could probably make 20 grand. But he likes the car, so he's not. But Ford's trying to say, just like GM, they're trying to say, well, you can't sell the car for a year, or we'll void the warranty, blah, 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 blah. They haven't actually done it yet. But he paid list price, and he got it. And he didn't get any rim-arounds with it. But on the other hand, he ordered it in September and he just got it. So it was 8 months before he got the vehicle. Now, of course, it's a fully electric car. And you'd think, hey, the fan's running. Well, batteries and motors have to be cooled. You'll often hear fans running because they have to keep the batteries and the generator from overheating. Now, this has the extended range battery. He was getting 240-mile range, but he just took it in 3 days ago and had software updates done that they recalled it for. And the range is now 265. But, and he warned me about this, once he goes over 70 miles an hour, he starts losing range a lot faster. And he also found something else out. There's a power band we'll show later when we're driving it. When you're going under 70 and you floor it, it will start blocking acceleration power. Normally you'll have full acceleration power, but he noticed over 70, the bars don't go as far. And some of them get blocked with gray. I'm assuming Ford is limiting top speed, top acceleration. Realize this is an electric vehicle. It has 600 pound-feet of torque. That's a lot of torque. They're worried people are going to lose acceleration, I guess, going over 70, start spinning stuff around. Somehow they're limiting it with software. Realize that the top speed of this thing is 124 miles an hour. That is obviously computer limited. You can certainly make it go a lot faster. They don't want to make it go a whole lot faster. I mean, they're being logical here. You know, who needs to go more than 124 miles an hour, right? I mean, the Teslas can go over 200 miles an hour, the real fancy ones. But you're going to lose a lot of power. They're a lot more dangerous. They're making this an actual driving car and not some muscle car that's going to be going to the drag strip. No, that's not what this is about. And of course, you techies are going to go, wow, check this out. This shows on the strip how he used energy. 4% of it was used in climate use because the AC is on, it's hot. 90% we use for driving, 5% accessories, and 1% on the external temperature. You can see it's got a really nice dash there. And we'll go from scratch here and turn the power on. Play some interesting music. Now it started. Now I do have to say one thing. I am artistically disappointed with that startup. When they brought me that Ford Bronco, it had the coolest startup with atoms, and then they're molding to make a Bronco in the desert. They had phenomenal graphics. To me, this is a little bit on the basic side for their fancy electric Mustang. Of course, being an electric vehicle, it's got all kinds of plugs. It's got charging. You can just charge your phone, sticking it on there. And it does have a gear shift, even though it's electric, and there really doesn't a transmission. Now, I do have to say, Ford's being a little bit sneaky here. Let's look in the driver's door pillar here. Now, what does it say? It says, manufactured by Ford Motor Company. And you can see, they even have it kind of hidden back here. They don't mention a single thing that all of these are built in Mexico. Not one word says this baby was made in Mexico, but they all are. Now, when we open the front, there's no engine. It has a frunk. It's got a little bit of space in here. You can put stuff in it. Now, it's a modern car, so it's got that new refrigerant in it. And speaking of that, you can see here, using the AC, uses up 5% of your range. It has to, because it's using energy. Now, it doesn't say it anywhere on the vehicle, but it is all-wheel drive. With 600 pound-feet of torque, it has these massive Brembo brakes. Those suckers are gigantic. Now, you notice the rotors aren't drilled. They're vented inside, but they're not drilled. Realize this is a 4,500 pound car because batteries weigh a lot. They're real heavy, right? You drill the holes, they dissipate heat even better. They also wear out really fast. I realize this has the regenerative braking to use the power over. That's how it gets the range, even though it weighs so much and has so much power. So the brakes aren't used nearly as much in a regular car. But if you did have slotted and drilled discs on it, realize one thing. They're also noisy as can be. They get really noisy. Plus, you'll often get pedal vibration too. So, unless you're racing them around, you don't want to do that to this. Plus, let's face the facts. You're not going to be dragging people in these things that have muscle cars because this thing's speed limited at 124. Those guys will do 180, 200. They blow you off the road. Hey, it's got 4 doors. Decent space in the back. He's got it down. A lot of room in the trunk. Hide stuff here so people can't see it. One of the coolest things it has is, check it out. It's got a glass top. It's Gorilla Glass, just like my phone, only a lot bigger. No more worrying about bird crap ruining the paint on your roof. It's Gorilla Glass. Wash it and wipe it off and it'll look good forever. Now hopefully they got good quality control in the Gorilla Glass, but hey, let's face it, Corning's been making stuff like that for a long time. It generally holds up pretty well. It looks good, and it'll probably look good for quite some time. Now, if you're thinking about buying an electric car of any sort, this included, here's one caveat that I have to give you. Unfortunately, these guys do not give out repair information for electric vehicles. It's a different technology, right? So people have to learn, but check this out. Here's my all data system that I use, that I pay for every year. I'm a mechanic to fix cars. Normally there'll be thousands of pages of information. There's practically nothing in this. Let's look at electric drive. This is an electric vehicle, right? Here is the only thing that it has. A technical service bulletin, and only one. Okay, on normal cars, I will have thousands of pages of data. It would show, even on a Prius. Here's the electric system. Here's how it works. Here's how you can take it apart and replace the motor. This? No. They don't give you any of that information. Now, Teslas are even worse. There's no information on all data for a Tesla. I can't get any information at all. Now, this thing does have an OBD port. You go under here. There's the port. It just plugs right in. So we'll do auto scan here. And unfortunately, this scan tool won't scan it, so let's get another one. So we're trying a different scan tool. It detected it. Now I read the VIN number, but it can't access it either. So we got one more try. Bring out the monster. Now let's hope this is like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. The first one wouldn't even read the VIN. The second one read the VIN, but couldn't get the data. Let's see if this does the whole tamale. So we'll plug it in, push the key on. It's communicating. Intelligent diagnosis. Scanning the VIN. Let's do diagnosis. It says it's loading data. Well, it's taking a while, so I'm assuming something is rotten in Denmark here. And sure enough, it failed. You might be able to put it in manually, so we'll try that. I'm not going to push my luck here. I'm assuming it's not going to do manual either, so we'll go to Ford, manually select vehicle. It's a Ford. We'll pick through them. It's a Mustang. There is no electric car. So no go. Now, he took it to the Ford dealer and they were able to access information with their special Ford computer. They're basically going like Tesla. They're not making it easy for anybody to work on it or get information how to fix it. So, if you buy one of these, you know I'm not a fan of these insurance plans. In this case, buy the extended service plan. He paid $2,500 and it's 8 years or 80,000 miles. You better have that. Because these are made in Mexico, they're new vehicles. If something goes wrong, the sky's the limit. It's like when you go to the doctor. How much is this going to cost, Doc? Oh, don't worry about it. I'll send you a bill in the mail. And they're at that level now because I can't access this information even with my $7,000 scan tool. And even if I access the information, what does it mean? I can't tell because the data systems don't include these. Well, it includes it, but it doesn't really give you any information. So, you know, what difference does it make? Make sure you buy that extended plan, 8 years or 80,000 miles. Really, if you're one of those people that's going to buy something like this and you're going to put 40, 50,000 miles a year on it, then you're on your own after 80,000 miles. Realize that. But that said, let's take it for a drive. We'll put it in drive. in drive, and away we go. Realize just like a Tesla, it does have regenerative braking, so you take your foot off the gas, look, it stopped itself by itself, so you gotta get used to that. Now I'm gonna wait until I get to our little drag strip, but I can tell by stepping on the gas, this thing is insane. 600 pound-feet of torque is quite a bit. Also realize it is a crossover vehicle. This isn't a regular Mustang. The regular Mustangs handle a lot stiffer. This isn't a race car. The handling isn't as good as it will be in a Mustang that's set up for racing around. And it'll take a while to get used to taking your foot off the gas and having it stop itself. But of course, with the regenerative braking and regular brakes, you want to stop this thing? Man, it stops on a dime. And realize it's all-wheel drive too, which is going to make handling and stopping a breeze. So we'll get to our little drag strip in the sky here. I can feel it coming on. We're going to do it from a complete stop though. We'll get around the bend here. All right, let's step on the gas full blast and see what happens. It takes off like a rocket. We're already going 90 miles an hour. And let's say you want to pass somebody. Here we're going 40, we'll floor it. Look how fast it passes people. This is a little rocket ship. At least up to 126 miles an hour. Then it's speed limited. And even though it's not a Mustang sports car, it's a Mustang E crossover SUV, hey, it's got decent handling. It's not racetrack handling, but you can take these twisties pretty fast. You don't feel like you're losing control at all. It's got all the traction control, lane departure stuff on it. The owner showed me an odd thing. When you're driving down a highway, you can fold them in while you're going 80 miles an hour or whatever, 60. That's not a good thing because the mirrors and the lane departure system on there, now it does have cameras there too, but they're at a different angle. And he said it really screws up the lane departure and the warning system because now the sensors, as you can see on the end, are pointed in a different direction. I'm assuming that's a mistake with Ford, and I'll have to fix that. There's no way you should be able to retract those mirrors while you're driving down the road at higher speeds. You notice they haven't automatically stuck themselves back out. They just stay there until I push the button. Then they go back out. You don't have to have your feet on the brake, and it sits there waiting for the light by itself. And of course, you're not going to find anybody who doesn't love that 600 pound-feet of torque. It's insane. It's got normal car features like a normal turn signal that normally clicks. This isn't some crazy spaceship that you have to be an alien to understand how to operate it. Everything are just regular controls like a regular car. Yes, they're made in Mexico. No, you're never going to find any Scotties, at least as it stands today, that can work on them because not only can we not access the information on the car, we can't access any information on our data systems either. So it's going to be going to the El Fordo dealer and paying a fortune unless you buy one of their 8-year, 80,000 mile extended warranty plans, which in this case I would say you really have to with a car like this. Okay, the guy forked out 75 grand for this car, right? 2,500, spend it, baby, spend it. It's fast, there's no arguing that. And it's fun to drive. And interestingly enough, he just took it in. Realized these are new vehicles, they're going to have teething problems. He had a software update done. They updated the software and his range went from 240 to 265. I've seen people with Teslas, after their software update, the range went down. This went up. So at least they're headed in the right direction. The only direction I wish they'd go to, start making these things in Detroit instead of Mexico. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.